All right, guys, today we're talking about fire. You heard that right. In front of us, we have August. I don't know. It's a very interesting name. And then we've got the word extinct, not extinct. But this has really good reviews. It was really inexpensive, to be honest with you. Comes with the amount. And let me tell you, this is really important because here recently I was driving in GT-R and I parked it in the garage, and when I came back in, it smelled like big time fuel. I was like, what is going on? I was like, man, this is kind of scary. Like it smelled like a gas can. You just opened it up. So I started looking around and I was like, well, maybe it's the gas cap. And I started to do a lot of research and I ordered some parts. But long story short, I was like, what happens if I do have something that just lights up, right? What happens if you're driving and boom, like you got a mini fire, something starts going? Well, you're just gonna pull over and just look at it? Let me tell you, I love my cars, and nothing is better than being safe and having a plan. So what I do, I went on Amazon and I looked for a fire extinguisher for a car, and this one came up and it showed up from Amazon, and it came with two of them, and I put it in the GT-R. So I'm gonna show you how I installed it because I thought it was pretty clever. But one of the things I find interesting about this is that it is super cold. I mean, it's not like super cold, but it's cold. It's still cold. And it's just, I feel like it's just naturally cold. I don't know if it's because it has nitrogen or whatever, but apparently this is also not toxic, and that you could put out a bunch of different fires: paper, wood, other general combustibles, gasoline, electric, substance class, cooking oil, all kinds of stuff. So this is pretty cool. And you know what? At the end of the day, being safe is cool. So first off, this came with a mount, which I think is pretty cool. And whenever you take the mount off, you have a couple of holes, right? You have one hole there, one hole there, and then a couple of holes here. And what I did is, I'm going to show you on the GT-R, what I did is I wanted to put this somewhere where I could keep all this together. And I got my little drill here, and I got a, let's see, 5/16. And right here where these holes were at, I went ahead and I drilled into it, right? And what that did is it opened up the hole a little bit bigger. And let me show you where I mounted this bad boy. All right, guys, can you guess where it's at? Well, I'm pretty sure you can, because it's right here. So look at this, guys, right? So this is something I just put in myself, but this is how the GT-R looks. And when you peel this back, oh man, there it is. And I think it's in there perfectly, because look at this, you could do that, right? And of course, if you have any issues, you could just jump out the car, open this up and pull it out. And this is how it's on there, right? It's not gonna go anywhere because I put it in there pretty nicely, and you just pull it out and boom. So what I did is I used this bolt from this bracket to hold this down, and it's not going nowhere. The only thing is that this bolt kind of protrudes a little higher than I want because the fire extinguisher doesn't sit in there perfectly, but it's not going anywhere. And the reason why is because it's kind of like pivoted right against this part right here. And then when I do that and that, it's just not going anywhere. It's in there, it's positioned well. And again, if we need to get to it, we just kind of go like this. We're like, all right, I need it. Boom, I got it, right? Again, it goes back in there nicely, goes in its groove. And I feel like it's positioned there nice. I just can't complain. And I feel a little bit safer now, especially after those fuel vapors. Now, after I smelled some gasoline in the car, I went into the forums, and I was shocked to see how many people have smelled vapor fumes from their GT-R. Some of it was from this O-ring gasket where the fuel pump is at. Some of it was the filler neck. Some of it was a pipe. Some of it was injectors. So I think as cars are getting older, there's a possibility for things to just get weaker, deteriorate, hoses and such like that. So I think having a fire extinguisher is just a smart move in general for life, but especially for older cars that, JDM cars that we have, or some of you viewers out there have. I think it's just important to have a fire extinguisher, because it's one of those things that at the end of the day, it's better to have and not need it than need it and not have it. Well, if you're interested in getting this, the one that I got, I'm gonna put the Amazon affiliated link in the description. Again, I think it's like 30 bucks or something like that for 2 of them with 2 brackets. Again, I can't say that this is like mind-blowingly good, but one of the things I loved about it is that it's non-toxic, it works on a lot of fires. Now, one thing I do know from the military is that fire extinguishers have a shelf life. That's why when you look at fire extinguishers, they usually have a label of an expiration date. All right, guys, thank you for watching. You take care, stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon.